Welcome back, guys, to another video for Alex's Flying Club. I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be flying the P-39Q in the flight simulator Aces High. And you'll get an external shot right now. This is the skin that's for the 9th Guards Aviation Division, Soviet Union. You can see the Soviet stars, and the 100 on the back of the plane indicates that this plane was flown by Alexander Pokryshkin, a famous Soviet ace who flew these American-made aircraft during World War II. I've also got a drop tank, which I usually carry in into the main arena, and this is actually the mid-war arena. So these arenas usually cut down by half the realistic amount of fuel that this aircraft would have carried. So that's why I carry a drop tank, so I can actually stay in the combat longer. Now, just kind of a fair warning in this video, you saw when I was taking off, the video was a little choppy. That'll happen during combat too. It won't be perfectly smooth, it'll be choppy as I'm dogfighting with others. So if that kind of stuff bothers you in the videos, you don't have to watch this one. Just wanted to give a fair warning. But aside from that, I'll just be talking about the P-39 and why I like the plane, and some other traits, historical facts about it. So in about a second here, it'll cut to the action. And this is, like I said, the mid-war arena, which has usually fewer people, well, pretty much all the time, fewer people than the main or late war arena in Aces High. I don't go here as frequently, but sometimes when I get fed up by my failures in the main arena, I'll come here because there's less people and it's a little easier to have situational awareness. Now, the P-39 is not a popular plane to fly usually in any arena. There's kind of the conception that it's better for ground attack, and I would probably have believed and gone along with this and not flown it very often if I weren't interested in Alexander Pokryshkin. The Soviet ace I mentioned earlier. To me, he's kind of a fascinating figure because here you have these Russian units being equipped with airplanes that Americans don't want to fly, and they're fighting against some of the best fighter pilots in the world, the German Luftwaffe fighter pilots. And his unit actually managed to have a very impressive record of achievement. He himself shot down over 50 confirmed aircraft. I forget the exact number. His unit, he was kind of a mentor to younger pilots. He himself was, I think, in his late 20s, early 30s during the war. And with him came a lot of successful aviators. I think the unit had over 10, I should have probably checked my facts here, but it definitely had quite a few heroes of the Soviet Union, which was a very difficult medal to get for achievements during combat. And he himself, Alexander Pokryshkin, had 3 of these medals. He was the first Soviet citizen to have been awarded 3 heroes of the Soviet Union gold stars. So to me, it's kind of fascinating how he managed to take these aircraft, which is mostly what his unit was flying during the war, and come up with a set of tactics, come up with a set of kind of insights to how to use this effectively in combat, and which is exactly what he did. So I've been kind of looking at online documentaries about Pokryshkin.
Got a 1.9 about 13K.
Also just reading about him in his own words. I'm reading one of his memoirs in Russian. And just been practicing this aircraft, I've been inspired by it, and I've been putting some of his knowledge to use. So one of the main precepts of attack is he had a several step process, and his motto was height, speed, maneuver, and fire. So that means you come into the fight with enough altitude to transfer that into kinetic energy, into speed. And then this aircraft is very good at maneuvering both at very low speeds and at very high speeds, about 500 miles an hour. So Once you drop down from a height and get that speed, you're able to maneuver for an attack position on the opponent. And the last element of that is fire. This aircraft is equipped with a really tricky but very powerful weapon, the 37mm cannon. And the rate of fire is extremely slow on this. It's maybe a couple shots per second, if that. And you have to be very accurate when you try to hit something. So here I am. I've dropped down at high speed on this 109, and my accuracy isn't going to be great. I might have hit him with the less powerful machine guns there. There I missed. And here's where it's getting a little choppy. Hit a wing. There you go. That is an example. That's an example of a 37mm just tearing apart a fighter plane. I think that was one hit that landed right in the fuselage and just blows the airplane apart. And that's pretty much what happens with all fighters. With bombers, I think it may take maybe 2 or 3 hits with that cannon to take them down. But you can see how powerful that is. It just incinerated that 109.
Sounds good, buddy. Appreciate it.
People, I think, tend to underestimate the P-39 in this game. They think that it's very underpowered, which it is. It doesn't have the most powerful engine. Its acceleration isn't great. It's although at low speeds, I don't think it's that bad. But its top speed isn't as high as like a P-51 or a 109, and yeah, the climb rate is not great either. So people tend to, I think, underestimate, and I've often seen opponents try to zoom climb to try to rope me into climbing after them and then stalling out, and then they can drop on my 6. That isn't as effective against P-39, and I've actually used this to my advantage several times because I'll climb with the opponent and I'll drop my flaps. And the nice thing about this aircraft is it's very easy to, or it's once you get used to it, it gets easier to control at very low speed. So I can hang with the 109. I may not be able to catch up to him, but I can hang there and I won't go into a violent stall at the top, at the peak of my climb. One of the reasons that this aircraft doesn't go into a crazy stall at low speeds is, I think, I'm not an expert in aerodynamics or physics, but I think it's because the engine is behind the pilot in this aircraft. It's not in front of the plane because that's where the 37mm cannon mechanisms are. But the engine's in the back of the plane, and the weight distribution of the plane is further toward the back. So planes which have the engine in the front, the engine is a weight that may cause the nose of the plane to jerk downwards to earth at the top of a climb. And you don't have that kind of an effect in this plane. Even at like 80, 85 miles an hour, if you have all your flaps down and are at full power, I've just gotten so used to it that I can just guide the nose down gently and regain speed pretty quickly, and then get away if I need to in case my opponent does drop at my 6 at the top of his climb. So another note about Aces High, I'm kind of hesitant to make videos for this game. I tend to make more Rise of Flight videos, but I play Aces High more frequently, and you can see why. I mentioned this in other videos, but just kind of jerky. I have quite figured out the best way to record. If I use fraps in-game, then I can't really fly normally because of the frame rate drops. And if I record in the Asus High Film Viewer like I'm doing now after the fact, after flying, then I have the problem of, you know, you can't see my track IR inputs.
Got another con coming into the northeast.
It seems that I'm just flying, you know, looking straight ahead, which isn't the case. And especially in the dogfight you're going to see now, the second one, I had to move, you know, my head around a lot, and track IR is great for that because I was in a rolling scissors fight with this Hellcat that I'm about to encounter. So unfortunately, you know, you're going to see a lot of sky as I'm rolling, barrel rolling around this Hellcat. But in reality, you know, hopefully once I tweak the settings, if it is at all possible, I can get my track IR inputs to be shown. I know it's not possible through the film viewer, but maybe I can adjust the settings.
15K.
I can adjust the settings to record with fraps in-game without it having to drop my frame rate. So another thing I've been thinking about, and I've lately, I think this has greatly improved my flying, is to stay fast. I've generally haven't really paid attention to my speed in a dogfight, and now I think it's imperative to come in at 250, 300 miles an hour. At minimum, I try to come in at 200 miles an hour, because I've just kind of been thinking about and realizing how important speed is to the beginning of a dogfight, and maintaining that speed if possible throughout. So I'm going to go into a series of barrel roll-like maneuvers, and these I have yet to perfect and practice, but in general these are nice because you can retain your energy. You're just transferring it right now into altitude with the top of the barrel roll, and back into speed at the bottom of the barrel roll. And if you do them fairly smoothly, you know, you can continue to retain your energy as you're trying to get your opponent to fly past you. Yeah, you can't see the Hellcat now, but I'm just looking behind me, and I'm trying to get him to overshoot. You know, when I was starting out, a lot of my dogfights tended to just head straight to the deck, but as you can see, I'm hovering above and below about 8K. You probably started close to 10K, but you eventually lose a little bit of energy, bit by bit, as you're doing these maneuvers. But now I've managed to get it to overshoot. And again, I apologize for the jerky movements of the recording. Again, you'll see a powerful nature of the 37mm cannon at work in about a few minutes, a few seconds here. Bam.
Have success down.
Way to go, Badger.
Thank you, sir.
So I think that was just one 37mm shot to the wing, and it just incinerates, just crushes the whole wing and takes it right off. You saw I just squeeze my trigger for a second.
RT.
And I'm going to return to base after this. So, I wouldn't say I'm an expert in this plane yet. This is one of my more successful missions, even though it's just 2 kills that I will land. But I enjoy flying this plane. I enjoy the history. I'm learning more about Pokryshkin and the unit that he flew in, the 16th Guard Pirates Aviation Division. And landing of this plane is a little different, of course, because the landing gear is at the front. The third wheel is at the front, not in the back. This was a difficult airplane to land in real life, but in Aces High, all the airplanes are fairly straightforward and I think easy to land once you get the hang of it. Thanks again for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize for the not so great film quality, but I'll try to record as many videos from Aces High that are worth showing as I can, and stay tuned for more. See ya.